Welcome to YellBro. I am Jordan, and today I'm going to do a little crossover video with a portion of an interview that Nick Fuentes did and a video that Kyle did about Nick Fuentes. And the crossover is mainly between Nick and Kyle. See, I attempted to do this video like two or three times already, the Kyle video, and I wasn't happy with it. Because I think the main thing I want to focus on is the portion that I'm going to play for you from Kyle. And then this will be just something in general. But before I get started, don't forget to share support. Hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, then donate. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So here's something I want to say. I do believe that Nick Fuentes would definitely lie to people for the sake of strategy, for the sake of winning. I think if the moment came down to it, he would lie. But I do believe he cares to at the very least look honest, to other people. Maybe he really is he really tries to be honest. I leave room for that. I can't say I know. Sometimes I'm like, man, this guy's full of shit. Like that shit he did with Alex Jones, I'm like, man, this guy's full of shit. But that could have been strategy for the sake of being an audience pleaser, right? To win over Alex's audience. Which is still you're still full of shit when you do shit like that, right? You're still full of shit. But there are moments where, sometimes I think he has to tell his audience, it's time to face facts. You've probably seen him recently doing the Trump stuff. We're talking about Trump and Epstein and, deportation and all that stuff, right? And he's like, hey, guys, time to face facts. This guy's full of shit. Talking about Trump, right? So this is something where, this is a little clip where he's talking to some guy. I don't know who this guy is. Arval, okay? I guess he's an aspirin or something. And he's talking about people like Joe Rogan or Elon Musk or the libertarian type guys and all that stuff, where Nick knows, yeah, our ideology is never, it's just not going to be considered mainstream. It's not going to make it there. It's we're too far down into history. Kids have grown up, gone to too many different schools with too many different types of people and different cultures and restaurants and food and sports and all this shit, where they're too intermingled for a full-blown white nation. Oh fuck! The dream's gone, and I think Nick's kind of saying yo, we got to face facts. It is what it is. But all right, here we go. Let's play this video. I just find it interesting, that he realized, because if he said something different, if he said, don't worry guys, if we keep fighting, one day we'll have our, white nation. Sorry, bud. There's too many fucking Michael Jordan fans. Sorry, dude. This shit ain't happening. What do you want for, just too many Mike Tyson fans. Even Nick, mingles with Kanye West, although I think that's part of strategy, kind of the way Candace used him, right? Where their whole point is just to kind of vampire off his fame and shit. So, although I think Nick's a little bit more genuine about it than Candace. Candace is a full-blown psycho, in my humble opinion. But all right, whatever. Point is, let's hear Nick basically facing the facts. Here we go.
Well, I think that it's kind of hard to say loud because they're really not with us ideologically. Like Elon and Joe Rogan, they're sort of splitting from Trump. They're less right wing than he is, even on immigration. I consider them to be almost center left. Elon is not, at least for America, appears to be, believes that race matters or that our heritage matters, or he's an immigrant or anything like that. And same thing with Joe Rogan. They are effectively center-left libertarians, the Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, even the tech bro, the Jacob Hellberg, David Sachs, these types. And I think that if anything, they might even try to hurt us.
Yeah, time to face facts. If, let's say, Nick Fuentes garnered enough people to run third party and he somehow made it to the debate stage and was saying the shit he says. I don't know about Elon Musk. Who knows what that vampire would do? But Rogan, I don't think there's no fucking chance. There's no way he'd be like, yeah, this is the guy. There's no fucking chance. I know he was probably used during the Trump run, right? Because he's an idiot and he's pillow soft interviews and shit like that, and you can use him like someone like Nick be like, yeah, go ahead, Joe Rogan, maybe for the sake of getting Joe to bring supporters to Trump because Nick thought he might get something he wanted from him. Even if Nick didn't vote for him, he still probably wanted Trump to win over Harris at the time. But yeah, those guys, and let's be real, the majority of America would say, go kick rocks, Nick. Guess what, Nick? All the young people that you try to talk to and influence, they're probably going to grow up one day and be like, man, I was kind of stupid I was kind of dumb being so involved in this shit. Because politically, I don't think Nick has much, like, he can't really offer anyone anything. Maybe you guys can start a commune somewhere or something like that, but, like, that seems like the best you can get out of this. Like, just being honest. And he kind of goes over that, too, I think. Like, he's seemingly being realistic about this. But, all right, here we go.
And like they are effectively like center-left libertarians, the Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, even the tech bro, the Jacob Hellberg, David Sachs, these types. And I think that if anything, they might even try to hurt us. I think that, like, especially in December, that whole H-1B debacle was very telling. When Elon Musk said, if you're against these H-1Bs, we're going to take you out root and stem. You're real racist. You are the problem.
Well, Nick, saying that because he needs workers. He wants these smart Chinese or Indian or overseas people. And the reason why he wants them overseas is because when they get here, they have no mobility. It's essentially the thing that a farmer's using, like these mass Monsanto farms are using, illegal immigration labor, or these hotels using in hospitality, businesses using cheap labor. It's the same thing. At least that's what I believe. I don't think it's from the fucking dear empathetic heart of Elon Musk. I don't think so. I think it's for workers that they're essentially limited because they're here on work visas, right? H-1Bs, and they have no mobility. They can't just leave and go just work for someone else. They can't be like, you know what? I'm going to move out of this town. I don't like this town. I'm going to go somewhere else. They can't do that. They have to stay with where the work is, right? Which means you can limit them on wages. You can limit them on mobility. Straight up. Once again, if it was beneficial to strictly work with American workers, Elon would move towards that and be like, fuck you, Indians or whoever the fuck. You motherfuckers stay over there. Get out of my country, right? All of a sudden, he'll turn around the narrative. That's what I believe about him. But maybe Nick's just, I don't know, maybe Nick's falling for more tricks, possibly. But, all right, here we go.
And I guess I wonder, to the extent that any kind of white nativism gains momentum as Trump maybe crests, I wonder if it draws more attention and then draws more ire from them. If it becomes more, I think about almost like Charlottesville. Charlottesville was kind of like, here is a pro-white movement. And it wasn't the best optics. Obviously, it could have been handled better. But the minute that kind of splashed onto the scene as distinct from Trumpism, everyone took turns beating it down. Everybody said they ran away from it as quickly as possible. And
yeah, once again, like that should scare people. I think that should scare. Forget about regular people. They already like dismissed this Nick guy, right? But I'm saying like Nick's fans, right? What if they cleaned up the image of Charlottesville, right? Cleaned it up and somehow roped you in over there. Now, granted, you might believe in the ideas anyways, but you don't want to be fucking tricked into it, right? I don't think anyone wants to be fucking tricked. So that should be a little bit worrying for people. granted, I think it's an honest answer from him. Like that's what he believes, and he would, clean it up so that it could attract more people. For sure, like he's openly like saying, yeah, we want to attract more people. It just doesn't look so. It doesn't look. It looks pretty dire. And he's like, maybe we can survive in pockets. But all right, here we go. Yeah, but yeah, the optics of a bunch of white dudes running around with tiki torches saying you're not going to replace us is not, optics wise, not going to work. But guess what? If it was a bunch of like guys carrying crosses instead of torches and saying, well, hey, white people have feelings too, you probably get more sympathy, but still people would look at you sideways like, well, like we kind of get it, guys, but like, like they're gonna pull out history books, like, well, look at this, Not saying that's what I would do. I'm just saying that's what I think a lot of people would actually do. Like, oh, the imagery of this still looks pretty scary to people. Anyways, all right, here we go.
I almost feel like that's going to happen again. I feel like the Jubilee video a couple days ago was almost like a prefiguring of this, where it's like everybody's sort of emboldened. Everybody sort of has this effect where they say there's this exuberance of the victory of censorship kind of going away, all these other things. And they start to say, hello, world, we are radical right wingers. And yeah, we are fascists. And I don't think people like Elon or the general public or the center left types, a lot of these people even that voted for Trump, they're not down for that. I don't think there's a big constituency for that. And it's like you said, I think actually that Trump has more utility than people maybe think, because the second that Trump disappears as a figure, it is, I think, a lot of the right-wing people are going to coalesce and consolidate around someone that is much more left-wing.
That's an interesting assessment. Also, I just want to say the Jubilee guy, I think he was talking to Mehdi Hassan, was like the main speaker there, and the guy's like, yeah, I am a fascist. Like, I don't think he was being I think he was being like kind of facetious and like leaning into it. But yeah, so what? Whatever. I am a fascist. What about it? Like just like leaning into it as like a stance, I guess. But it doesn't mean the guy doesn't have dumb ideas. It's just I don't think he was like trying to, declare himself a fascist in front of everyone. I don't think he was doing like I don't think that was his goal. I think it was like kind of, facetious and tongue in cheek and jokey. But also, fuck. What did he just say?
The second that Trump disappears as a figure.
Oh, okay. A bunch of Trump people, once the Trump thing is over, will lean towards something more left-leaning. I say possibly, because the main point of Trump, that's what I like, as far as I've seen from people, the main point was that he was going to root out corruption. That was the dream he sold, the illusion he sold, right? And let's be honest, he hasn't done a lick of it. In fact, he's just increasing his own expressions of corruption. And the U.S. government and administrations. It's so whoever looks the less corrupt, I think, is where that kind of like general populist, ideaed people, like they'll lean towards whoever they think will actually do the most against corruption, because they haven't seen it yet in their lifetimes, right? Whether if someone is living right now, an American, and they're 120 years old, they have still not seen a president that fights against corruption, like really does it. And I know people are going to say JFK or something, but come on, he has his own problems. Let's be honest. And if the average American knew about it, they'd be like, "Oh, fuck you, dude. You're corrupt. You're corrupt like they are." Got it. So, yeah, that's why I think there's like a hunger for someone to just buck the system a bit and actually be thorough about it, but they just get fucked over every year. And so, I don't know how they get tricked into coming back, but they do. And it's unfortunate to see. But all right, here we go.
It is, I think, a lot of the right-wing people are going to coalesce and consolidate around someone that is much more left-wing, that is not going to be able to get away with some of these things that Trump was able to get away with because of the power of his personality, the cult of personality. So I think the America Party, if anything, we're going to fall on the side of the Republicans on that, dispute. The America Party is going to be technologist or technocratic.
I think he means Elon's party.
They're going to be deficit hawks. They're going to be about good governance. They're going to be not engaging in culture war. They're going to strive to avoid anything racial. You know, the party was founded by 2 Indians. They're on the paperwork or whatever. Whereas the Republican Party, I think that is going to actually go on as the center of any kind of culturally right-wing element. So we might be counting, but I think it's a good thing to have a split. I sort of welcome the America Party because, like you say about smart cities pointing towards intentional communities, kind of like as a concept, in the same way, a viable third party that has a big backer and big money, maybe that points towards the breakup of this like 2-party, and I hate when people say 2-party system, but maybe it points towards there could be some innovation on that side. There could be a more right-wing party and a more left right-wing party or a more center right-wing party. I don't think that's the worst thing for us. So, overall, I don't think the America Party is going to be a home for white racialists or, white people that want a homeland, but it may shake up politics enough where we could get something different, at least, because the options aren't working.
So
enough.
It's a homeland for white people. Yeah, no one's gonna roll with that, Nick. Even your right of the right wing, as far as like actually within politics, not on social media, not on the internet, not on your YouTube channel or whatever, Rumble or wherever the fuck you're on. But I mean, like, actually in the government. That shit's just not happening, bud. I'm sorry to tell you. Something crazy would have to happen. Some sort of event or something to allow that to happen. There's no fucking way. It'd have to be like, I don't know, illegal immigrants going around and just hanging every white person they see, like a fucking, like, tortured, kill squad, right? Just running around, just killing every white person they see, and only white people, to give you guys any type of leeway. CIA, don't get any fucking ideas from that. Please don't do that. Thank you. But yeah, it would require something very drastic to happen. But I don't even think you'll have a place there. I think you will be relegated to the internet, Nick. Like, sorry, dude. Like, you're gonna be relegated to the internet, and you'll be screaming on the internet. And you'll have some people that are essentially apolitical that watch your stuff because you hang out with other influencers, and at least you'll make money, right? At least you'll win, right? You can get what's that? Damn, I turned that fucking video off. I was watching a live stream of this, and there's a moment where they're trying to get, like, I think someone's internet fucked up or something, and they had to like reset it up. And I'm looking at Nick, looking into the camera, like fixing his hair and shit. I'm like, oh, you little bitch, bro. But yeah, man. I don't see where. I don't see this beyond the internet, man. I don't see this, 110-pound little boy is really getting anywhere with borrowed ideas from 2016. I don't see that really getting anywhere, except for, once again, for him. He'd have to, I mean, here's one thing that could happen. He'd have to really compromise and start lying, right? Like lie harder. Like, really lie. Like, where he's like, you know what? I gave up all those racist stuff or racialist stuff or whatever he calls it. I gave it all up for the sake of trying to push the party forward, right? And then have to be like a quiet secret that he actually does still believe in the same ideas, right? But he'd have to lie to the general public to be like, okay, see, look, we're not that bad. Let us in, guys. Might be too late for that, but it would have to be something drastic like that. But then again, he'd probably, a lot of his fans would feel betrayed because they wouldn't be in, like, on the inside, secrets of everything, right? So, at least he's like, I think he's being pretty honest about it. Like, it's like, where do they go? Now let's go to something where I'm asking for more honesty, and it's not from Nick. That's not who I'm asking more honesty from. It's the nipple ring guy in the bottom right hand corner. he's the guy where I want to hear more honesty from, and it may surprise you in which way I'm asking this. But pause. But all right, let's play the Kyle clip, and it's less so about what Nick's saying here. I think it's more of Nick being a little like ripping the Band-Aid off, like, yo guys, yo America first people, this Trump guy is not on your side. Right? So, but what Kyle says at the end of this, which doesn't really have to I mean, it kind of has something to do with the clip, but not really. It's more of the part of the clip you don't see that Kyle stops the video at. And then his little response to it. All right, so here we go. Let's just play this.
And this is something that is heresy in right-wing circles, what you're about to hear him say.
It's a deep and personal stab in the back to all of his supporters, to everybody that actually believed that it was going to be different, that the kind of Pizzagate, Clinton cash, Fast and Furious, Tower 7, Bush lied, that kind of corruption, we thought it would be different. We thought that was over. Maybe that it was impossible, that Trump represented this wrecking ball of truth and anti-corruption and the populist movement or something like that. Obviously, that is now over. Obviously, now there are no illusions anymore. He is just like the rest of them. He is.
At least Nick got, like, you didn't lose out completely, Nick. Your career rose through this Trump guy. You know, you get to copy his mannerisms, right? So you got something out of it, right? But yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty obvious that you were being lied to, but Nick's moral scale and my moral scale are just way, way, way fucking different, right? So things that would pique my attention because of the moral scale wouldn't be something that Nick would be seeing, right? So that's why it'll take Nick longer to figure out someone's full of shit. Let's just be honest. He sat in front of Candace thinking he was getting a nice little friendly little interview, and then Candace pulled the knives out. And he had no clue. He was like, what? Wait. He looked shocked, and then he changed his posture around and got into, Nick Fuentes, the content creator mode, instead of being like a little bit more vulnerable as like just a person talking, right? He's like, fuck, I gotta put my guard up. But I would have already figured that out already, but Nick... I told you, he's a 110-pound little kid, doesn't know anything. He learned life from the internet. All right, here we go.
Just like the rest of them. Lying to our faces about something so gross.
I can't believe he would lie.
So in your face. Epstein did not kill himself. Everyone knows that. Obviously, he ran a blackmail ring. And he's going to sit there and get defensive and play games. And he's going to stand on the graves of the people in Texas and say, why is everyone even talking about this? Let's move on. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's worse than Hillary Clinton. Like, you want to say, fuck you, man. Fuck you. They were right about you. You are a con. You are a joke. And all that kind of stuff that we thought was kitschy and funny at one time. The hair, the ridiculous spray tan, his complete ignorance about everything, the long tie, all of it. What used to be endearing and charming and funny now is tacky and lame and dorky and stupid if it's just like the left. It's like we're getting Hillary Clinton in a worse suit.
So at one point...
Okay, so here comes the Kyle part where this is where I'm going to ask Kyle for some more honesty. Here we go.
When he said he's worse than Hillary Clinton, then he says they were right about you. Assuming what he's saying there is liberals and leftists were right about Trump. But then he goes on to, and the rest of this clip, he goes into full false equivalence. Like, oh, they're all the same. They're all this. And it's like, no, Nick, no. The left is better. Liberals are better. Democrats are better than Republicans. Yes, they are. And, I've made this point 1,000 times, but you can't make it enough. When anybody tries to do the bullshit, false equivalence, both sides shtick, just ask them, would Kamala Harris have slashed...
Okay. Before he goes into actual examples, this idea of better, Kyle, this is where I need real honesty from Kyle Kulinski. And people are like, no, he is being honest. Like, this is what he believes. He believes the left is better than the right. I'm like, okay, you could believe that. But he's hiding something, isn't he? He's hiding something. Now, when you say Kamala Harris would be a better president or is just a better politician than Donald Trump, it begs the question of like, okay, in regards to what? Kyle will have his, school lunch programs and shit like that, right? But what he won't include is like, well, Kyle, will Kamala Harris partake in the killing of innocent people? Would she do that? He would have to say yes, based on his own coverage. He'd be like, yeah, she would. So how come you don't include that to this word better? To me, that's like lying by omission, in my humble opinion. I think you're lying to people in that regard. Or maybe you're not thinking about it in the meantime. The point is like, okay, in this circumstance, we need to defend Democrats, liberals, leftists, or whatever the fuck, right? We need to defend them. Okay, but that's still like strategical shit where you're being dishonest. Here's what I want Kyle to do. I want him to be more honest. And when I say be more honest, say, yes, we're going to get, pediatric care or school lunches for kids and all that stuff, but also say she's going to kill kids too. Let that be known right next to it. Every time you point out one thing where it's like, oh my God, look, Kamala's better. Don't leave it as like a default thing where it's like, well, they're gonna kill kids. Like we all know that they're gonna kill untold numbers of innocent people. The Democratic Party is very consistent with that, with their presidencies and their voting in Congress, right? So there's no way for Kyle to deny that. Don't leave it up as a default, Kyle. Make it so that people know what they're choosing when they go to choose something. If you have a young person that doesn't know anything about foreign policy at all, knows nothing, all they know is all the little domestic policies, and they're like, look at Trump's immigration policy. Look at Trump fucking, deporting people with visas and green cards, or trying to at least. Look at Trump's fucking spending bills and all this shit as far as, tax cuts for the rich and all that stuff, right? And the domestic, like, free speech rules and all, like, he's just breaking everything and technocracy everywhere. When they learn about those things, about domestic shit, right, make sure you remind them so that they know what they're choosing. So that they realize they're not getting a rose. They're getting a grenade. But at least the grenade's pin is maybe halfway in, as far as Kyle's concerned. That's not my opinion. That would be Kyle's opinion. The opinion he's not saying right now. He covers those stories of foreign policy. Of what the Biden administration was doing with Gaza, the one that Kamala was vice president for. The one who said Iran's one of our greatest threats. So I think Kyle's aware of what she would do foreign policy-wise. So thus just, I say, make it simple. Instead of you having to repeat it over and over again, just put it on a poster in the background, Kyle. That says, every positive thing I say about Kamala Harris, she's also going to kill people. And help others kill people. And sanctions that kill people. And veto resolutions that call Israel out. And subvert countries in South America. And fund and arm people that fucking go out and kill people. Make sure you let everyone fucking know that. But to just go out like, Democrats are better. But you leave out the part, like, well, are they close to each other in any way? Like, in what regard, Kyle? As far as something that no one would be for. That you're aware, like as far as you're aware of, Kyle, that no one in your audience would be like in favor of. Make sure you say those things loudly and proudly so that people know the risk they're taking and hopefully it keeps you aware of the risk you're taking. Once again, I understand. Kyle's mentality is probably something like, well, it's going to be the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. One of those teams are going to win the fucking presidency. So you might as well pick the one that's better. Right? Lesser of evil. I just say point out the fucking evil. I understand why someone would do that. I empathize with it. That's a rough decision. But it might be some fucking kid whistling down the street, happy sunshiny, going to pull the lever for Kamala Harris, not knowing that they are taking a risk. I mean, like when I'm in my mode, man, I would be a lot meaner about this, but I'm trying to be nice. I'd be like, yo, Kyle, get a fucking plane ticket, go fly over there, whatever country we're bombing or whatever country we're funding to bomb someone else. Go over there, go to one of their fucking hospitals, go talk to a kid who's fucking amputated legs and arms, and say, well, this was the lesser evil. Maybe not for you, but for us over there in America, lesser evil. For you, you got the fucking shit end of the stick. Sorry, kid. That's what, Dark Jordan wants to say. But Nice Jordan right now is saying, like, just be honest, dude. Don't omit that people. They're like, yo, whatever programs you name, you can attach, they're going to kill kids next to it. Put it on a fucking t-shirt, Kyle. I don't want to see you up here prancing around with a giddy look on your face, like, they're better. And then if I ask you, like, will they kill innocent people? Well, yeah, they will. Okay, they will. But so will Trump. Fuck my life. Anyways, here we go.
Whoa, wait. What?
What happened?
They'd be like, well, we don't totally agree with everything he does, but it would have been significantly more people getting killed under Trump. So we basically chose the better option.
I understand and I empathize. And I'd be like, well, when you point out that Trump will kill 10,134 children in this one country, just point out that Kamala will only kill 7,354 children in that country. Just point it out. I don't want them hiding it during election time, right? Where it's like, oh, Kamala's better, right? Like just be blatantly honest so that you aren't deceiving people. Because when you say better, like they are better here, they are better. When you just say it like that, and someone doesn't know anything about this foreign policy stuff, they might think like those problems aren't a thing for this person that Kyle's telling them to vote for. It's dishonest, in my humble opinion. But maybe he's just an idiot. I leave room for that. Maybe he's just stupid. Doesn't realize like, handing the most complete, honest answer you can to your audience is the best way to go about it. And like I said, I know he goes over these stories, which is fine, right? He's going over the stories, so it's right. He's being consistent, I guess, for his mind. But for me, it's like, when you get up here giggling, saying they're better, all right, they're better, and you leave out that context, like that's the stuff that's supposed to give you stomach aches of a choice to make. Fuck. Like, yeah. All right, here we go. Just remember, every little thing he says, like they're better on this. They're better at this point. Just put next to it. Yeah, but they're gonna blow up kids too. And innocent moms and innocent dads, innocent grandpas and grandmas and aunties and uncles, siblings, friends, Americans too. By the way, both sides have done that. So, yeah. Don't leave that out of your discussion, Kyle. But he will. He will. And guess probably especially in election season, he'll probably leave that shit out, which is just extra scary to me. And I would only have one question, like, are you just stupid or are you full of shit? Like you're a liar. That would be my fucking question to him. And yes, Kyle fans, I keep pointing out, yes, he fucking does videos on this stuff, but like, This whole idea of better with this fucking happy look on your face, fuck out of here. I understand the logic of it. I don't understand the morality of it. But anyways, here we go.
You know, I've made this point 1,000 times, but you can't make it enough. When anybody tries to do the bullshit, false equivalence, both sides shtick, just ask them, would Kamala Harris have slashed pediatric cancer research?
She would kill children, though.
Would she have slashed Meals on Wheels?
She'd kill children, though. I'm just trying to help them out.
Is that what she would have done?
She would. She would kill innocent people all over the world. All over the world. It's pretty evident, I think. I think there's no question about it. If you don't think that, Kyle, holy fuck, you should probably just quit your job and do something else, man. That'd be the worst forecasting of all time. That'd be like one of these Trump fans that think, oh my God, world peace is here. Trump got in office. Meanwhile, he just ups the drone strikes, ups the missile strikes, creates more tensions with more nations. We didn't start any wars.
Have shut down foreign students from coming into this country, leading to massive brain drain, which is going to destroy this country's future.
She'd kill college-age students all over the fucking world.
Would she have done that?
She'd kill them before they got here. And some will get here. Like I think domestically, yeah, they wouldn't be like targeted, visa, green card programs and all that shit. But if you're over there in some of these other countries and you're on the wrong side of the tracks, she'd fucking bomb you. As just evident by watching one administration to the next. And everyone knows Kamala is not some sort of revolutionary change in the government, right? She's as establishment as it gets. So yeah, she wouldn't maybe persecute so many fucking college students here, but she'd kill plenty of college students around the world, other places. Kyle, you need, once again, to make it easier so you don't have to say it every day, just put it on a poster behind you, bro. There you go. So at the very least, some kid who doesn't know anything about anything can be like, hey, Kyle, what's that poster? What is that poster, man? Oh, well, I put that here to remind everyone that even though this is the lesser evil of a vote, they're still going to do evils. And people are going to die from that. And it should feel like, Native Americans when they fucking, kill an animal when they're hunting and they fucking pray over it and say, okay, thank you, blessings for this, miracle fucking deer or whatever the fuck. I mean, me personally, I'm not voting for someone that I'm highly aware is going to fucking kill innocent people. I'm never, ever, 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 ever supporting that. Ever. In any form or fashion. But I understand why other people do it. Just be honest. And feel a little bit of pain when you pull the fucking lever for them. Just feel a little bit of the pain I feel. Just a little bit. Just a little empathy about it. What's that expression? Hold your nose and vote? Something like that, but more painful. And when you're done pulling the lever, I recommend going home and watching all the documentaries on all their foreign policies. And understand the fucking travesty that happens around the world. And domestically, too, by the way. Trump isn't the only one that was doing trying to do mass deportations. Obama's still the record holder, by the way. Trump's on his way. He's trying to pass it. Maybe not by much, but he's trying to pass it. Obama's like 1 year deportation record. Trump's like on pace to slightly pass it. But, But here we go.
What about firing our top nuclear safety official? Would she have done that?
Yeah, she'd blow up scientists across the world. I mean, just by the sheer amount of people that get killed, you're probably going to find someone from every little category of social role, from family to occupation.
And then having to beg for that guy to come back. What about firing air traffic controllers and literally instantly having 7 new plane crashes under Trump because they're totally fucking incompetent and they don't believe in government. Would she have fired all the people in the NWS and NOAA and
I think she'd fire missiles at other people's air traffic control motherfuckers and shit like that. I think she would. Or she'd be, obviously, the thing in Gaza, the thing in Ukraine, where she funds and arms countries that are doing that. So, I mean, there's no way Kyle would make that argument. Like, well, it's not her doing it; it's Israel doing it. It's like, well, she's arming. Like, he would definitely make the argument that, okay, you're culpable too because you're arming them and funding them and all that shit, or Ukraine or whatever, or countries in Africa, Somalia, Yemen, Saudi Arabia. Like, come on, there's a track record here. So, Kyle would not be able to deny any of the things I'm saying about the foreign policy stuff. Right? I don't think he would want to deny it, right? I think he wants to tell his audience about that, but maybe not during campaign season. Or maybe not when Trump's, down so bad, right? If Trump's down bad, you kind of want to kick him when he's down so that he can't recover, right? So Kyle's going to play the strategy game and say, like, well, Kamala wouldn't get rid of Meals on Wheels. And it's like, well, she would be blowing people up, though. You need to make that a stark fucking reality of a choice for people to make. If you don't tell them about it, they end up doing something, not realizing what they're fucking doing. Hand them a block of C4 with no fucking instructions. Anyways.
Literally fired 600 and cut the weather balloons, leading to severe weather events where people don't get adequate warnings, then they die. Let's stop pretending. Like, oh, they would have been the same. Even on Iran, right? They wouldn't be the same on Iran. Kamala.
Damn, he got kind of quiet. He got a little. Seemed like confidence kind of walked back right there. His tone of voice changed. Like, well, what about Iran? Well, they would have. They wouldn't.
Where people don't get adequate warnings, then they die. Let's stop pretending. Like, oh, they would have been the same. Even on Iran, right? They wouldn't be the same on Iran. Kamala supported the Iran nuclear agreement, the JCPOA.
Yeah, but we're not in that bitch anymore, Kyle. You just had 4 years of Biden. Did he get back into the fucking nuclear deal? No. Said he funded a genocide. A genocide that they're partially blaming on Iran. And Kamala, in my humble opinion, Kamala ain't going to walk a different path than that. She's going to be like, yo, you guys fund Hamas. Hamas did October 7th. Yada, yada, yada. In, like, outward language, rhetoric, they might say, like, well, Israel's doing a little bit too much. But policy-wise, it'll just keep rolling. Yeah, shit'll keep rolling on. And then Iran's attachment to Russia and China and some of these other countries. Yeah, there'll still be tensions with Iran. But yo, think about it, Kyle. I mean, it was along with the U.S. and they had intelligence from the U.S. and all that stuff, right? But remember, Syria fell, all right? Israel took out all their fucking weapon systems as far as like shooting down aircrafts and all that stuff, all right? So that means it's free airspace for Israel to fly over. And what do you think Kamala Harris would do, Kyle, if Israel attacked Iran? Would they diverge from what Trump did so much? Would they be like, oh no, Israel, you're done. We're done funding you. We're done giving you weapons or selling you weapons. We're not going to fuel your planes. We're not going to use air defense systems to protect you when Iran shoots missiles at you. Do you think that's really going to happen, Kyle? Would you actually predict that? If that happened, I'd be absolutely surprised. And guess what? I think Kyle would be surprised too. So, are they that different than the Trump administration on Iran? Are they? We already heard the inside stories about what they were doing with Israel, right? Or behind closed doors. Biden wasn't some angry guy. Man, I really hate Netanyahu like they keep trying to do with Trump. They just gave him whatever the fuck they wanted, knowing what they were doing. And if anyone asks about it, they say, shut the fuck up. Like a press secretary or a international press secretary. Like, what are you asking about? Yeah, shut the fuck up. They do it in business talk, but essentially they're saying, shut the fuck up. We're going to do what we do. Israel is our greatest ally on repeat. Rhetoric changes, policy stays the same. So I'm not even sure about this, Kyle. Like, what would be the huge difference? People thought there would be a huge difference with Trump and Ukraine. Like, oh, he's not going to do this with them. He's not going to give them weapons. He's going to make a peace deal. Yada, yada, yada. And look where we're at. He continued the already contractual weapons handing over from the Biden administration, right? He continued that. Then he added more on top of it. So, like, yeah, I don't. Sorry, Kyle. I just don't believe that. If I saw it, I'd be like, yo, you know what? Kyle was right. But right now, there's no way I fucking believe that, man. Not a chance. So, and once again, let's say Kyle was right about Iran. I don't know what the Harris administration would do in regards to that. I don't know what they would do. But let's say she was like, no, you know what, Israel, you're not doing this with Iran, and they listened to her. There's still umpteen whatever the fuck number of other conflicts happening all over the fucking world, dude, that the U.S. has their hand in. I mean, Africa just goes so much fucking just unreported of the U.S. involvement in Africa. Like, straight up. We hear about the Middle East all the time, but they are all up in Africa. There's fucking troops there as we speak that get in gunfights in Africa. So, okay, maybe she would be different on Iran. I don't believe that. But if she was, you still have all these other conflicts happening. And let's be real, a genocide happening that she would have no plans of to stop. Let's be honest. But, all right. Kyle, just, maybe you're just wrong about this one, this Iran thing, but the rest, it's like, just attach it to, like, she saves a kid's life over here, takes one away over there. I just want you to go over and tell that kid, like, and tell that kid's family, like, yo, it was the lesser evil. It could have been worse if Trump was in office or someone like Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, your kid was going to die anyways. At least we got Meals on Wheels. Go tell the parents that, Kyle. Then I'll have respect for you. Be like, okay. At least you own the shit you're essentially promoting. Let's see if he has anything else to say. Otherwise, I will end it here. Let's say.
Joe Biden, how about this? Joe Biden, for all of his flaws, and he's got many of them, the one thing he actually vetoed Israel doing was bombing Iran. There was reporting on that not too long ago.
Trump did too, a couple times this year. And then eventually it happened. But then again, and also, like, there's also claims that Biden was working a ceasefire with Israel. That ended up being bullshit by his own administration. Them going over to Israel and talking on their media or doing like a random podcast or something, admitting like, no, there was no ceasefire thing like really getting done. That was bullshit for the audience, for the crowd. Who knows if this isn't the same thing, Kyle? Not trying to rain on your parade, but like, this is too serious to not consider those things. Right? Just take it at face value. That'd be like something like trust the plan MAGA dipshit would do. Wouldn't it be, Kyle? Wouldn't you be making fun of them for just falling for shit like that? Oh, yo, Trump's mad at Netanyahu. You know what? Neither one of them know what the fuck they're doing. Remember that soundbite, Kyle? Did you believe that one? He said it out loud. Did you believe it? Did you believe he was really mad at Israel? Come on, Kyle. Come on, Kyle. You know better than that, Kyle. All right, whatever. He's just once again, just looks like a giddy kid looking for points to win, but nothing will take away the fact that they would kill innocent people. They would. Like Kamala Harris, yeah, she'd fucking do that. She'd be a part of that, 100%. Nothing takes away from that, Kyle. Sorry. Here we go.
So no, they're not all the same. They're not all the same. Some are worse than others, but he takes it.
Okay. I'm gonna end it there. Some are worse than others. Got it. Both would kill kids anyways. Got it. All right. I mean, there's nothing else to really say here. There's your video. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment, agree, disagree. Tell me what you think. I don't know. Nick sounds more realistic than Kyle does in the little snippet I used of Kyle. I'm sure in other cases, Kyle sounds more legit. But in this particular thing, I kind of windowed on. Yeah, Nick sounds more like just honest about the scenario. Like, yeah, we're never going to get political power. You know? But Kyle's just like fucking just looking past the fucking disaster right outside his purview. He's just not looking at it in the midst of trying to boost up, I guess, Democrats or something. I don't know. Maybe he thought that on an election night, that if he wished hard enough for Kamala to win, that she would just win overwhelmingly with their little silent majority. But that shit didn't happen. Once again, the thing that I thought was actually predictable, you know, I don't look at fucking polls and shit. Pause. I don't look at fucking political polls and all that shit. I'm just smelling it. It's like just smelling the environment and just seeing things, culturally seeing things. It's like, there's no fucking chance. Like, Trump's at fucking UFC events doing dances and people are like, yeah, fuck yeah. I mean, they do that now, still. Right? But it was like a thing. Across culture, it was a thing. But, you know, whatever. Tell me in the comment section what you think about these two characters, or my opinions, or anything you want to say. Please say it in the comment section. Do not forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, then donate. Thank you. Thank you very much. And with all that said, please give this video a thumbs down. And R.I.P. Ozzy Osbourne.
Say you wanna get in.